Well, to continue from yesterday, the sun's on its way down. Can you see that moon over there? It is just gorgeous, rising nice and large. It was about 36 degrees today, and it feels a little better now that the sun's not glaring brightly overhead. There's still not really a big breeze, just a faint, faint, faint feel of a slight breeze. Tomorrow is supposed to be 42 or 43 degrees. So that's going to be no fun, probably most of the day in the house. It just drains one, and not to complain, but it's so hard to find energy to do anything, and you probably shouldn't be out anyway in that heat. I did see, this was last August when I arrived, there was two men, they looked like twins actually, older men, downtown near the market, and one of them, they looked to be in their 70s. One of them collapsed on the ground outside by the taxi. They had hailed a taxi, and he couldn't climb into it. Fortunately, several people were helping him, and they got him in, but he just couldn't get his balance and get stood up, and that was the heat. And that day, I remember I was beginning to feel a bit, it scared me. I was beginning to feel dizzy. One of my ears plugged up because there was so much sweat inside my ear. It was like, you get water in your ear when you're swimming. That's what it was like. And it's just an overall feel of dizzy. Something's not well about your body. And the water, yeah, I drink a lot of water. And I've always loved water. I drink a lot more here now than it's almost unbelievable how much, but you have to, right? And I do try to get out. I water my little trees, but even that little thing, watering the fruit trees, was enough to make me feel dizzy. And I had started walking down the street just to the corner and thought, this is not a good idea, better go back. Which I did, and I'm glad I did. And I think take a cue from the other folk. If you don't see other people out around walking, even children out, nobody, then that's a good sign to not be out, because usually the place is full of people. And also the cats and dogs, I noticed that. Usually there's a parade of dogs and cats running around here. They're not out during the day now. They're all somewhere hiding where it's not as hot, I guess. So that's also, I think, significant. Next week is supposed to be cooler, but we were talking about cost of living and things and where to live. And I went into this long, long diatribe, I guess, to talk about it's so important to choose where you really want to. I bought this sight unseen, which I do not recommend anyone to do. I just lucked out. I really did. That being said, though, I knew the person who had come and looked at it. I've known him for a long time. I had some pictures sent to me. He even stayed here for a night just to see what it was like. Was it quiet? How was the house, and so on. So everyone's not going to have that option, perhaps. But these houses now, these were quite reasonable. So the exchange right now is 13 pesos to the Mexican dollar. 13, yeah, that's right. 13 Mexican pesos to one Canadian dollar. In the States, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's around 17, around there. So, and things fluctuate, of course, especially these days with all the madness going on in the world. But you could have bought a house like this last year for about 50,000 US, a little more, maybe 55,000. And that comes with the rights to privilege all the documents. You don't need to get out other papers. It comes included with the permission and permits to build up to 2 more stories on top if you'd like. So that's something to take into consideration. There are new houses being built here. I think they're asking 1,200,000, which is about 100,000, a little less. but maybe around 90,000, roughly like that. To me, that's a lot. And those houses aren't really going, but they're being, I don't know, targeted for tourists and other people want to retire. I've brought you down there with me before. It's a gated community, and most of it's still empty though right now. That's a lot of money, as I've said, I think, for a house that's really not much bigger than mine. They have another room upstairs, but otherwise it's the same proportions. There are a few more. Oh, and then like, if you were just renting and not buying, around here the rents are 2,500, and that would be for a 3-room with a washroom and a little patio, or about 2,800 for 4 rooms with an upstairs patio and a downstairs patio and 2 washrooms. That's not really bad. If you get further down into downtown, of course, the sky's the limit. Things are a lot higher there. And as far as I had talked a little bit about stores, it's hard to do a comparative. There are right now, I don't know how many, 1, 2, 3, there's a number of little stores all over. And they're just like someone's front room, right? So they're small. The prices tend to be, well, competitive with each other, right? They want clientele. They don't want to drive people away. And there's a little fruiteria now, a new one, that's popped up, and that's good. They usually have a good selection of things. There's really no, I don't have a car, and that's an expense to think about. I don't miss it. I don't even think about it unless someone else brings it up, really. And I admit, like, at times in this weather, it would be nice, but I don't know. There's this won't last forever. So I'm just looking at that gorgeous moon going up there. Again, it depends what you want. In the gated communities, it's going to be a lot more expensive, and you'll have to pay a monthly fee on top of that. And I don't, each to his own. It's not my money. They can do what they want. It's their money, their lives. But I don't know why someone would come all the way to Mexico and live in a small gated community that just looks like a neighborhood, I don't know, outside of somewhere in southern Florida, in Tampa or something. I mean, if that's what floats your boat, that's fine, right? But I don't know. Not for me. But then this isn't also for everyone either. It's interesting, though, how the styles of houses change from place to place. Oh, and that's my little cat that comes by. Nieve. Nieve? Say hi. How are you? I'll get you some water. Yep, just a minute. So Nieve is a little cat that comes by every day for some food and water. I think he's wild. That's what people have told me, poor thing. All right, then. I hope that gives you a little bit of a small idea about house prices and rental prices, and a little more about the neighborhood and the weather. All of that needs to be taken into consideration, the hot weather. This area tends to be really quiet. Once in a while you'll hear loud music, but that's rare, like New Year's Eve, but, well, that's to be expected. But they had a bonfire over here, so, over here. They had a bonfire, and that was really nice. There were just people standing around talking most of the night, actually. And who doesn't love a bonfire? But that's not common. Usually you don't hear much. There's a guy down the road who sometimes plays some songs in the evening, but it doesn't go on, and it's not loud and crazy, right? But that's something too to think about, because I've been in, I don't know if it came out on my Carmen YouTube videos there. Carmen's loud, and a lot of it's the traffic going by. So, like, it's non-stop. And upstairs on the balcony in the patio where I like to work, it's loud there too. It goes on all night, the loud traffic, and that's trucks coming in from other places, right? because that's the main road, so they have to come in that way off of the bridge. Now there's a slight breeze. It's beginning to feel better. And I'll just walk over and let you take a look at that moon with a better shot. Then I'll have to feed little Nieve. There now. Isn't that gorgeous? Up there. Alright then, till later. Got some duties to which to attend.